Hello readers, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing Artemis by Weir. Is it as good as The Martian? If you have not read or listened to The Martian, you really should, because it is an amazing book, and at the end it's got a really beautiful, heartwarming message, and it is just a fantastic book in every single aspect. Now, if you are wondering if you should listen or read Artemis, let's get started with the concept of the book, okay? It is basically about this young woman who lives in the moon. So basically, human beings have made it possible to create a small civilization in the moon. So we actually have people living there, but the most important thing about it is the tourists that go there. That's where the money really comes from, right? Okay, so our main character, Jess, I honestly couldn't really click with her. Now, she is illegally getting stuff in the moon that shouldn't be there. For example, cigars, lighters, things that could potentially be really dangerous to be put in there, mainly because of regulations that they have. They don't have everything figured out, which is something that I really enjoyed and like about this, because it is, pretty new that they are living there. They've been there for some years, but creating this whole system takes a ton of time. So we don't have a huge law regulation. We basically just have this dude that is like security, and he does whatever he feels best to make sure that people that are doing illegal things get punished. And a lot of the time, the biggest punishment is to just deport them back to Earth, to wherever they are originally from. So I enjoy that bit of not having everything thought of, because I do think that that is quite, realistic. That if we somehow manage to go and make a civilization on the moon, on our Mars, or wherever, it's gonna take a while to create new laws for that place. Now, another thing that Andy Weir is doing fantastically well in this book, as well as I think in The Martian, is everything related to science. The science part of it is there, and it's done amazingly well. Since the very beginning, he paints a really amazing picture, really full and complete, of what it's like, or what it would be like to live in the moon, which is a really cool thing. As a huge nerd, yes. I was really enjoying that part, and he gives this little thing that are just so well thought of. For example, he's explaining the difference in gravity, If someone from Earth were to travel to the moon, obviously we have different gravities. So what would that entail? For example, we have one character, it's not a big part of the plot or anything, but this one character who lived here on Earth and had an accident. Her father decided to bring her to the moon because here on Earth she couldn't walk, but in the moon she could walk. Obviously, there's less gravity there, so she could actually walk there. The idea that if someone was actually born on the moon, if they wanted to come to Earth, they would have to go through a ton of training and physical therapy to be able to even walk here. So those little details that are not super important through the whole thing, but they kind of are in the setting of people living in the moon. It is really appreciated, as well as what happens if we, have this little construction there? How would we make it work if we need oxygen? And then if we are putting all of this oxygen into the air, what happens if someone illegally lights up a cigarette or something like that? All of those little things sound fabulous and are so well thought of and so well made throughout the whole book. The calculations are a bit too much sometimes, even for me. I'm a physics engineer. Still, sometimes I thought please stop making calculations and just tell me what is going to happen. Yes, it happens sometimes throughout the book, but I think they are worth through for the important and the nice part. Now, the biggest problem that I have with this book is the main character, Jess. She is not a constant, she doesn't have constant morals and ideas throughout the book. Let me explain myself. She is trading illegally. So basically, if something comes into the moon and she is not supposed to have it there and just it's illegal, like, you know, cigarettes and something that can make potentially be really dangerous through not just one person but the whole community in the moon, you know, she smuggles it for money. She is brilliant and everyone keeps telling her, you know, you can be an engineer and you can be a scientist, you can be anything that you want and make a ton of money off of that. Now she says,
oh no, I don't want to be an engineer, I don't want to be a scientist.
Now I don't know why she doesn't. I don't think it's really explained in the book whatsoever. And you know, even if she doesn't, the only thing that she cares about is getting a ton of money to be able to live in like the nice place of the moon. But when the time comes, she is willing to be the hero and, you know, do all of these amazing things to save everyone. And honestly, that is so inconsistent. And at the end of the book, we come full circle with her. She doesn't learn anything. She's basically the same person. I really didn't like that and I didn't enjoy that. There is not a growth of character anywhere in the book. Her actions are not consistent and you really don't understand why she's acting that way. That is my opinion for the book. And it does take a little bit out from the enjoyable experience that the book is, but also, you know, you have to balance for you if that is something that you care about or if it's something that you don't and you are just there for the science, because I do think that the concept is pretty cool as well as the concept of The Martian. Again, if you have not read that, you really should. Now, like I said with The Martian, if you are comparing these two, is it better than The Martian? I'm gonna say no, just because of one reason: the ending. We don't get anything spectacular about Artemis. In my opinion, The Martian has a beautiful message at the end, and Artemis is just like, it was cool, it's a nice concept, I had fun reading it, but it is not the essence that I was expecting after reading The Martian, that is for sure. So if you have read The Martian, if you have really high expectations, just lower them down a bit with the characters, with the action of them. The science is still pretty cool, the concept is still pretty cool, so just, you should think for you what matters most and decide if you want to read it. Now, if you have already read this book, please let me know in the comments down below if you enjoy it, if you want to read it or not, if you think the way that I think about the character development and all of those things. And also, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and if you want to watch more reviews. I have so much more and I have more coming even. So yes, thank you so much for watching. So please leave that thumbs up and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel for more bookish related content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!